Okay, dying to throw a few cuss words at putting this back in and getting those bolts in. Word of caution, do not put one in and tighten it, because it's harder than hell to line the four. Put one in, leave it loose, put one in, leave it loose. The bottom ones back here were the major pain. You really got to crank this wheel over to get straight up in there and get that thing started. Man, talk about it. That took me a half hour to get those in there. I couldn't get them started. I couldn't figure out what the heck. Anyway, needless to say, got it in there. But that was not hard, but fidgety. Anyway, word of caution. So now, we're basically done. All we got to do is put these covers on, and they give you, pardon me here, they give you 4 new gold colored screws for the covers. When you took the original covers off, you had 4. On these, you only have 2 to hold these covers on. Remember, on this side, there's one for the SM and one for the SE. And you only put 2 per side. They're Loctited. I'd have preferred them to be black like the original ones I took out, but they're recessed good enough, won't be a problem. So we're going to get those covers on. I'm not going to need to show you that. That's pretty basic. But we are basically done at this point. And it'll be time to start reassembly. Now, one thing I like to do when I got the bike apart is clean up stuff. Right? So maybe clean up your plastic, clean it with some stuff. You know, get the dust out of here and there. You know, stuff like that. So clean it up and we'll start reassembly. Now, I'm not going to show every step of reassembly. But what I will do is, as I'm reassembling, especially this mother, I will give you any tips or things to look for as we go along. So there may be more video with some tips. But we're basically almost done and just putting it back together at this point. Selfie. All right. Everything's cleaned up. Handlebars are on. All cleaned up. Like I said, I'd clean up the area. I have yet to put the beast front end. How do I point back there? Beast front end back on. Why can't I get that right? Right there. Beast front end back on, but that's next. As you know, I got to get those 2 tangs into those things in the frame and get it lined up. I'm hoping I can do it by myself. I am by myself, so if I can't, I got to wait for the wife to come home and try to help. But we'll see. Anyway, taking a break for a minute. Talk to you later. Okay, top console fairings on. Got the cable hooked up for the glove box lock. Haven't tie wrapped anything yet. Got the cluster and everything hooked back up. No tie wraps replaced there. Good to see everything powering up. Still got the 2 front bolts in the front to tie it down, as you see. I've got these done here. Where are they? I'm getting tired here, guys. Where the hell is it? Oh yeah, can't see them. My glove box is back on. Anyway, the 2 bolts that hold, you see it's still a little wobbly because I don't have those front bolts. Still got the trunk latch to do. So that should finish that up. Put my bad boy horn back on, rewire my riding lights into the side lights, and get the general panels back on. So let's see, it's 3:40 right now, so I'm not even adding up the time, but I took a lot of breaks and whatnot too as it got hot. Did it by myself too. I don't know how much that weighs. It wasn't too bad to get back on, but not too bad a job. It's just a lot of screws and time consuming, and then some frustrating stuff. By the way, a couple things I don't like here. Hold on. I don't like the fit and finish of some of this. Like this cover right here doesn't quite meet, you know, the fit. Over on the other side, it doesn't quite meet. I may see what I can do about that later. I wish that would fit a little better considering what these cost. Got to armor all the rubber up a little bit. But pretty much that's it. Just got a lot more screws and crap to add back on. Nothing. Let me just say about this job, getting the fairing off was the hardest part. A couple of the fiddly screws, like these damn backplate screws, totally fiddly. Nothing extremely difficult, just some things fiddly and a lot of screws, okay? I would say I think anybody that's got basic mechanical knowledge could do this. But it's just a lot of time consuming. Plan a whole day, even though it only took me about 4 hours to do, subtracting brakes, 5.5 with brakes. I would say, you know, someone taking their sweet time about it could take all day, okay? So anyway, I will finish up with a review on these things when I'm all done. By the way, Sean Smoke in his video, before he removed this whole top piece, by the way, I'm in reassembly mode. One thing I wanted to bring, he reached in here and he talked about this bolt, but then he reached in somewhere and clipped or did something, and he made a pardon me, I just ate 2 hard-boiled eggs to get a little energy. Made a comment about unclipping or doing something for the heated hand grips. I had none of that here that he did, and I'm not sure what it was. By the way, this is my GPS wire. Got a rerun. So I have no clue. On the 2014, something's different. So I'm just telling you guys, whatever he did there that he talked about, said, and he reached in there with something long. He was a pair of clippers or something. Wasn't quite clear in his video, and he said the words heated hand grip something or other. So just a word of caution to 2014 guys, there may be something on the other side here I'm unaware of. Alright, so just letting you know, one comment. Even though I'm reassembly mode, I'll probably put this in the removal mode for you 2014 guys. Oh my god! Just some frustration. These are frustrations when working on the Spyder. I was trying to put the nut back on here, and I dropped the nut down in this hole, which goes right down into the frame between the trunk and the frame. Only way to get it out is remove the frunk. And I'll tell you what, I'm going to find a nut, put it on there. There are nylocks on this. I don't care for now. I'll save that. I know it ain't going anywhere. But that ticks me off. That's one thing about the Spyder, man. All these little notch holes and stuff. You drop something, it disappears forever. Anyway, word of caution, stuff a rag down in that hole right here before working on this. Jesus Christ. Alright, later. Okay, another little follow-up. The frunk latch, since I took it off, which you pretty much have to get this thing off. I told you I lost a freaking nut down in that hole. Stuff a rag down in there. Anyway, so this thing is highly adjustable. It's slotted, right? So you can move it up and down, and it can also tilt. All right, hope that makes sense. Anyway, after fiddling around with it forever, what I did is I loosened these up just enough so I could move it with some force. And then I latched the trunk, and what was happening to me was the trunk wasn't closing all the way. It was sticking up too high. So what I did is, with it latched, I pushed it down, not too hard, all right? As you see, you still get a little bit of movement. But I pushed it down until that was as far as it would go before I'd have to push it all the time to unlatch. Anyway, adjusted it now, key unlocks it, electronics unlocks it, and then what I did was I went ahead and tightened this up and double checked it. Bottom line, when you're done, should work like that. Alright, unlatch with the key and should be good. Alright, so that's highly adjustable, just so you know. You guys, this might be another segment of a video, but you guys that have to always, maybe electronic won't unlock it. By the way, the electronic thing is just a solenoid that pushes on this catch. That's all it is. It doesn't pull. It's a solenoid that pushes, same thing as this cable pulls, okay? And that unlatches it. See, watch. There it is latched. So the solenoid's down here on this paddle, and it unlatches it, and so does the cable. Same thing. So the bottom line is getting that adjusted was a little fiddly until I did what I said. I left it a little loose. I pushed it all the way up. Latched it lightly. Alright. Then what I did is I pushed down on the frunk until it was about right. Then reached in here, unlatched it, and tightened the nuts. Again, tighten the nuts just enough so it moves a little with force, okay? You don't want it sloppy because the minute you unlatch it, it's going to move on you. Anyway, just a follow-up tip on adjusting that. I will tell you, some things just fought me. Putting my wiring back on for these lights fought me. I dropped one of my Positaps down in there, disappeared into the black hole that is the Spyder. I don't know, just some other stuff fought me here and there. But basically, at this point, it's now just ready to put the panels back on. That I've done a million times. Nothing should fight me. Anyway, tips on the latch. Okay, folks, so the Triaxis adjustable handlebars are on. It was quite a job considering I'm not a Spyder mech and take this stuff apart all the time. I will tell you that I think just about anybody with basic mechanical skills can do it, but plan some time. It took me 4.5 hours, including shooting video and a couple of breaks. But bottom line is, I like them. I'm playing with the adjustment now. One thing with getting adjustability is finding where you like it. There's many options, so it actually takes a little time to find out where you like it. Rode it to work today, and I think I like it where it is, but I'm going to raise them a little higher because I'm tall. So, but anyway, I think it's a good deal. I think worth putting them on. If you're not mechanically inclined at all, I would say don't tackle the process. Go get it done. But if you're mechanically inclined at all and have basic tools, including some of the tools that I mentioned you will need in the video, then I think you can do it. Just take some time, make it maybe a weekend project rather than me trying to get it done in one day. You know, had I had more time, I could have just relaxed. Now, I will tell you this in finishing. Most of my hang-ups where my aftermarket add-ons, like the side lights on the fenders, those wires had to be pulled off again, my air horn, my GPS cable I ran, all that stuff I had to deal with, which added to the time, okay? Had those not been on there and it was a stock bike, I think I could have dropped probably an hour. Anyway, that's the finish off the video. Hope it was helpful to everybody. Enjoy.